Hey everyone, welcome to Buzzing About Romance. I am Becky, and joining me for this episode are Leah. Hi, Leah.
Hi.
And Heather. Hey, Heather.
Hello.
So how's it going, you guys? We are in the midst of a heat wave. It is summertime.
Finally summer. It's glorious.
It's yeah, I'm there for this.
It's been something.
It's been something.
So we're actually recording before this drops, and like my kids. We always record before it drops.
We always record before it drops, yes, but we're trying not to put like timelines on things.
It didn't timeline anything.
Anyway, go ahead.
We'll just cut that out.
Now I forget what I was gonna say.
Your kids, are they home for summer?
No, I don't even remember. It's
okay.
I don't
know. Okay. So you guys don't understand. I get critiques for every episode by the production person.
I was just stating fact, though.
Anyway, so our romance term of the week, it actually goes really well with what our episode is about this week. So our romance term of the week is fish out of water. This is someone who is confronted with a particular situation that is completely new or confusing. We often see these in rom-coms, but also can sometimes be mistaken for opposites attract. So oftentimes we'll say, oh, that's fish out of water, but really they're opposites attract.
I feel like fish out of water, it's a very specific. It's like you're throwing somebody, like a city girl, into like a cowboy romance or like a ranching romance or like a really like
or a small town guy in the Upper East Side of New York. Like,
yeah,
gotta
it's like where you're like you have your comfort zone and you're thrown into something that you don't understand or are really, really uncomfortable with.
You know, so like if you watched the show The Nanny, you know, he was Upper East Side, Park Avenue kind of guy.
London crusty.
Yeah, and she was from
Jersey.
Queens.
Queens. She's from Queens.
Queens, you know, very like city New York. And their attraction plays out over many seasons.
I love that show.
But I would say that I would say that's more opposites than fish out of water. She knew New York. She knew how New York worked.
Yeah.
So that relationship would be more opposites attract.
But is she a fish out of water? Because like he lives in this like upper crust kind of like, you know, hoity-toity life and she doesn't belong. Like she didn't grow up there?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's more because she knows the society.
I think if there's like he had lived in a different place, then the fish out of water would have worked. But like she like still saw her family. There was like no out of water element to that aside from the fact that like she was around like the rich people.
Schitt's Creek is fish out of water.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So because they went from high end, you know, big time living to small town poor. So that would be fish out of water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love Schitt's Creek.
So there you got it. Fish out of water versus opposites attract. Sometimes they're mistaken. I'm super excited for this episode of Buzzing About Romance. We are actually going to talk about movies and maybe give you some book recs that go along with some of our favorite movies. We felt like we needed movie time. We haven't done anything with movies.
We haven't. But this also showed me that I don't watch a lot of new movies.
No.
Like nothing. I mean, I won't say nothing. Like every once in a while, Michael will be like, get like a wild hair and be like, let's watch a movie. So we watch something new. But I don't watch new movies.
I watch a lot of true crime documentaries.
Yeah.
We watch a lot of TV series or like streaming series. Like we don't watch a ton of movies.
Okay, so before we get into movies, Mike and I have been watching The Last Kingdom, that's on Netflix.
It's delightful.
Uhtred. Hot damn.
Uhtred, son of Uhtred.
Uhtred of Badenburg. Okay, if you want Viking book recs.
Oh, yeah.
and consent is not a problem for you, and don't mind there might be some dated language and feels, you should check out Joanna Lindsay's Viking series. Super spicy, especially if you like Brita, his former
Best friend.
friend, lover turned sister-in-law turned enemy now. Because in one of the books, the Viking kidnaps a Celtic warrior who is a girl but disguising herself as a man, and then he puts her in shackles. Anyway, it's hot.
Is it the Shepherd Knight series?
For
Oh
Joanna?
no, Viking Hadrid family.
Yes.
Mm.
Katie Wilde has a like a novella where it's like a barbarian. He's kind of like a Viking who like grunts a lot.
Julie Garwood's The Gentle Warrior has these kind of feels, like the Danes versus the Saxons.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if you're
I
like
have to say, when I told my husband about this episode, he was like, "Yes, does that mean you're gonna like watch more movies with me?" And I was like, "Well,
No.
I mean that would actually cut down on my reading time." So, and then I was like, "How about like give me something in this realm?" And then it was like 3 hours we sat and looked through. I was like, I didn't want to commit this much time.
So I was looking through like the doc for the episode, and I was like, and Becky has a question here. What is your all-time top 5 favorite movies? I was like, that's the worst question ever. I don't have the top 5. Like I could name like top 5 like funny movies, top 5 dramas. So I was like, if I break it down into like sex, I had a really hard time.
it's
Oh,
okay.
mm,
I
I'm just
didn't.
saying.
not me.
How though? How did you not have a hard time with that?
Because there are certain movies that I will watch over and over and over again. I don't care how many times I've seen it. Like The
Yeah, I
Greatest
have
Showman.
like 15 of those.
If you put The Greatest Showman on, I am Hugh Jackman. I am singing. This is
haven't-
us. Like,
I haven't seen that one yet.
What?
yeah.
Again, I have not watched a new movie since like
That-
2016.
That
no, like
isn't
2010.
new. That's
It's-
not new.
How old is it though? If
Like
it is less than 5 years old,
2018.
I don't.
yeah, if it's less than like 5 years old, I have not seen
I don't
it.
know. I'm just telling you guys, like Hugh
I don't watch
Jackman's The
movies,
Greatest
people.
Showman
I
comes
read my
on. I am
books.
singing. I
I have
am.
heard really good things about it. I just haven't watched it.
I
But
love that
also,
movie.
Michael wouldn't watch stuff like that with me, so now I have to do it with Nora, and Nora will watch them with me, so it's okay. I just
It's
have
a
to
great
sit her
kids
down.
movie.
I
I
love
know.
it.
I'm very excited now.
I love it.
Although the boy child would probably watch it with me too, because
Yeah.
he has been going to the musicals and stuff.
I love a good
So
musical.
we got on a
Okay, so let's
tangent. Sorry about that.
So we are ready to fill your summer with great movies and hopefully maybe give you some steamy book recs that will go with those movies. We will trope these movies and tell you that maybe these tropes you might find in these books. So let's start because we just start talking about musicals. I love a musical.
I love a musical.
I also think a soundtrack makes a movie.
Have you ever seen those things where they show the movie without the soundtrack and it's like kind of creepy? Like
No.
it's just like a little thing. It's like what would the movie be like without the soundtrack?
Yeah.
It's real crazy.
It
Especially
wouldn't
like
be as good.
oh, it's terrible. But it's like, and that just shows like how much that background music and those soundtracks add to the dynamic of a story.
Becky and I are gonna like arm wrestle over this first movie and the soundtrack, which is there. It's impeccable.
It's
Go
a
ahead,
beautiful
Becky.
movie. I love this movie.
Same.
The Wedding Date, it stars Deborah Messinger and
Messing?
Dylan.
McDermott?
No, the other Dylan. Mulroney.
Oh, okay.
Like-
Well, Dermot Mulroney.
Dermot Mulroney. That guy. Guys, I don't know. That movie, it's a fake wedding date with family
Wait, I have seen that
drama.
one. I have
Dermot
seen.
Mulroney
Dermot
is
Mulroney.
Wait,
Mhm.
isn't isn't he a escort?
He is an
Yes.
escort.
Okay, so yes, I have seen this one.
He's
It
a
is
fake
very
wedding
good.
date, which
It's very good.
we love a wedding romance. Guys, come
We
on.
do.
Really?
We did a whole episode all about wedding romances. So really, like if
We
you
did. So we'll just reference that. We won't give you a bunch of recs for that
but
one.
that is currently
No.
streaming on Netflix. And that
Mhm.
that movie,
It's so good.
it's so
It's
good.
really good.
And that soundtrack makes that movie. I also love that
Totally.
ending where the douche canoe guy gets his comeuppance. He's like
He
running through
deserves
the.
it.
The soundtrack is amazing. And so this I just looked it up again. So it came out in 2005.
It totally
And
holds
that's
up.
Hence
very
why
much
I've seen
so.
it.
And Michael Bublé does a ton of music in that movie. And
Mhm.
it was so amazing. My husband bought me tickets to one of his live performances when he was in the Twin Cities. And it was so good. And oh, Michael Bublé is so good. And yes, I love it. But I have it as more like fake dating. So I have a whole bunch of fake dating recs because they're fake dating, but then they like, whoops, accidentally, start hooking up. And
I love the scene with her stepdad and him when he's like, "This is going to sound really odd to you, but can I have permission to date your daughter?" And you're like,
yes.
"I thought you already were."
Mhm. And but the dad is like her stepdad or whatever is very like with it. Like he has picked up on what is happening. So
Mhm.
she goes back to London for her sister's wedding, and her ex who like broke her heart is the best man. So she doesn't want to show up single. And so she hires this guy from New York and they go over. And
Well,
she's got like bucket loads of like
luggage.
and
Thanks
stuff.
so much.
Oh my God, it was so funny. She works for the airline. Her wardrobe was also amazing.
Impeccable. Yeah.
She's so great. I like her a lot.
So if you like that movie, you should read Flirt by Adriana Locke. They
Mhm.
are co-workers and she accidentally puts up a date wanted thing on her socials and his mom, who's also her boss, sets them up.
Oh my gosh,
And
that's
he
funny.
has these very like brothers that get into all his business.
So this is one of our favorite books. So I'm gonna just Dirty Talker by Marilyn Kelly. He
Mm.
goes to a wedding and he's like begging anybody around him. He's like, "Do you have a cousin? Like, I don't know, I'll even take your grandma." Like,
I'm a really nice guy.
oh my God, it was so good. Also, it's a very slow burn, but The Wall of Winnipeg by Mariana Zapata. This is also sort of like a fake dating. When I tell you it's a slow burn, it's like literally the slowest burn of slow burns. So be prepared.
It's like a
4-Day
99
Fling.
percenter.
Have you guys read 4-Day Fling by Emma Hart yet?
I don't think I've read that
think
one.
so.
It is. So she has to go to her sister's destination wedding. And she meets a guy in the club and they end up having a one night stand. And as she's leaving, she leaves him a note and says, "Could you call me?" And he catches her leaving the note because she's asking him to be her wedding date for her sister's destination wedding. Come to find out, he is the star hockey player. And it's like her nephew's like supreme dream player. Her dad's a big fan. Her grandpa gets into all of this shenanigans with strip clubs and strawberries and stuff. It's so fun. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. It was so good.
Well, and
Go ahead.
Avery Flynn has one. It's the wedding day isn't
Oh.
that the
Mhm.
Yes. Well, yeah, but that one's, well, I guess they do fake, but
they do
kind of-
fake, but he's kind of an asshole. But I'm just saying, if you want that
he is
fake
an asshole.
relationship,
Yeah. I
it's
also think Dr. Scandalous, they
Mhm.
don't go to a wedding.
they go
but
to a reunion, but it
they go
has
to a
those like
reunion.
fake elements because like
Yeah.
honestly, like it wouldn't happen if the reunion like wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Like the reunion was like the catalyst for the fake relationship.
Also, if you guys have read Lorelai James, All You Need by Lorelai James, he's a hockey player and doesn't and needs some media handling. and he ends up fake dating the this a girl that's family is very wealthy in the town, and they fight, and it's great. There's a scene in a broom closet. It's phenomenal. What are some other top movies for you? Anybody?
I
Leah?
have one.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Heather.
Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh, that's a really good one.
That is a good one.
I love you have a baby in a bar. I love this is another one. The soundtrack is amazing.
Uh-huh.
So good.
Second Chance Romance.
Small Town.
Small Town.
So my I have a few. One would be Made for Romeo by Natasha Madison. It's a really good second chance romance. Anybody else?
Matchmaking the Rival by Layla Hagen. But that kind of takes place big city. It doesn't have that small town vibe to it.
So
neither does
We're Made
Made
of
for Romeo.
Moments. We're Made of Moments.
Oh yes,
We're Made of Moments by
That's
Molly
Molly
McLean.
Yeah. One and Only by Nora Everly. It is Small Town. Were like high school sweethearts, got married. She moved away, they got divorced, and she comes home and they reconnect. It was so good.
So, okay, Heather, the Wilder brothers. Wouldn't
I
you
have
feel
one of
they
them.
have the same kind of vibes as Sweet Home Alabama?
I have The Path to Us by Carrie Ann Ryan on the list. There's a couple on there that I think are great.
I think any of them kind of flow with that kind of
Hearts
vibe.
in Winter by Carrie Elks. So this one is great because it is perfect Sweet Home Alabama. Small town West Virginia. He's a doctor and she stays home. Like she's a dancer and performs in Winterville. And he left to go for Doctors Without Borders and they get divorced. But he comes home when he finds out they weren't divorced. Their divorce never went through. And he wants a second chance.
I also have Broken Miles by Claire Kingsley, and that's book one in the Miles series, which I really like that. I love that series.
That is a really good series.
Would you say I'm like, Watch Me Unravel by Julia Wolf. That is a second chance romance. They were never married, but they had a baby together as teens. And he goes on his world tour as a rock star and comes home when his teen daughter is hurt. And then they reconnect and they have to figure out how to live in each other's world. So
Getting Schooled by Emma Chase is a second chance romance. They're high school sweethearts. They go to college on opposite sides of the country and end up breaking up. And then he moves. So he's still in their hometown and she moves home to take care of her father when I think it's her father, when he gets hurt or sick, and they reconnect because they are teaching at the same school.
The Tycoon, it's book one in the King family. This is a multi-author series. It's Molly O'Keefe wrote this one. So these two were engaged, and then she jilted him at the altar when she found out that her father arranged the marriage, and he didn't really want to be engaged to her. And now her father has died. And part of the will stipulation is they have to get married. They have to be together and be married for a year and are forced to kind of reconnect. So
cohabitate.
Yeah, I really liked that series. That was really good. Okay, Leah, give us one of your top favorite movies.
So I really like The Wedding Planner with Matthew McConaughey and Jennifer Lopez. There's just something about it. And when she's going through the M&Ms and throwing out all, like, when they throw out all the ones but the brown ones, it's like, it doesn't make them better. They're all terrible for you, but they're delicious. But so that, I just really like that one. But so there's a book by Christy Love called Heartless. So she is the wedding planner. Her ex-boyfriend is a musician. And they had broken up and he comes into her wedding planning, like where she works, with his fiance. And she has to plan the wedding and they reconnect. And then actually Natasha has like a whole series with this now. It's
so
the
good.
Southern Wedding series where the the sisters are the wedding planners, and either it's a second chance. I think they're all second chances, but they're all like they're planning the weddings of their exes to other people.
Yeah, one is like the first one is a second chance, and then one is like I think the last one is accidental pregnancy. So she like hooks up with her like best friend's little like it's like a
Mhm.
best friend's little sister, Bennett, and it is so good. I
Well,
really
that
like
one, like
this series.
that one I think was a little bit different. I haven't read that one yet, but then the new one coming out, like the next one that's coming out, it's a secret baby.
And it's a crossover.
It's a
I love
crossover with the hockey.
Mhm.
I'm very excited for that one.
Who else is a wedding planner?
Kelly Jameson has a wedding planner in her
Yeah.
Aces.
Yeah,
Because
she
it's
does.
Kelly Jameson and she has a wedding book and
She
everything.
loves a wedding, and we mentioned
She
those on
does.
our wedding episode. Okay, Heather, do you have a movie?
Well, you should pick one.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
this is a weird one, and I know that I've read books like this. So it's actually a movie based on a book. This is Where I Leave You, and it stars Jason Bateman and Jane Fonda. He returns
Oh.
home as his father has passed away. His father owns a sporting goods store in a small town, and he is returning home. But as he's returning home, he's broken up with his wife because he caught his wife in bed with his boss. His mother's played by Jane Fonda. She is a renowned sex therapist that goes on book tours and shares the whole family's sexual history in her books and stuff. And she informs her four children that they are going to have to sit Shiva. Tina Fey is in this movie. They're going to have to sit Shiva for the 5 days. And Jane Fonda's had a boob job. She's like it's on Netflix right now, you guys. And it's so good. So it is loss of parents, returning home, and second chance. And he gets the opportunity to connect with a girl that had a crush on him. She's a little younger than he is, and she's kind of the weird girl in town, and has a chance to connect with her. And then, anyway, it's such a great movie. But it has like bookish vibes. Because I was thinking like
Yeah.
technically like Winterville by Carrie Elks, like book one, they all come home to save the town because the grandmother has died. Even a little bit of like the shenanigans the mother pulls are so Bra Brigade from Silver Island by Melissa Foster.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I know that I've read books, maybe Jackson Harbor, Boys of Jackson Harbor
Yes.
vibes to it. It does have a
It's
lot
like
of,
that small town vibe, like series.
yeah. So I love that movie. It's really great. And the book, I actually read the book years ago, and it's a really great book. It's based on his own experience. But the fact that they have to sit Shiva, and it's complicated family dealing with grief.
Mhm.
So I highly recommend it. I know it sounds
Awesome.
ridiculous, doesn't it?
All right, I've got Friends with Benefits with Mila Kunis and Justin Timberlake.
That movie is so hot.
Hot.
It's
I
so
know.
hot.
I love a Friends with Benefits. Or like it's like I feel like theirs is like a friends to lovers.
Well, they're
But
kind of
I love,
coworkers.
yeah, like she recruits him. So I love a friends to benefits. My first one is kind of all the way by Kennedy or by Kendall Ryan. So it's Teddy, and they kind of had like hooked up in college. Or no, that's okay, all the way. I looked it up. She's got two of them in the series. I think this one is with Owen though.
Man
Very
Cave
good.
by Vanessa
Oh, yeah,
Vale
Man Cave is a good
has
Yes.
one.
friends with
Mm-hmm.
benefits kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Also Drake, because they're
Yeah, that was the
coworkers.
one that I was
Yeah.
gonna say because they definitely start with the friends with benefits.
Accidentally in
Well,
Love by Danica Flynn.
yes.
Yes.
But then Caught by Love by Melissa Foster, Archer's book. They are friends with
Oh yeah,
benefits.
because she kind of tells him like we're not doing this anymore.
Like they're banging all the time. She's like every time she's like, we're done, and they're not done. Krista Sandor's Sebastian Guarantee is a friends with benefits.
That's more
Well, it's
sex
more
coach.
dating coach, yeah.
Yeah. I think I
Oh,
Love
I love a
You by
dating coach.
Lauren Lane. It's part of her Oxford Men series. Lindsay and I are just rereading this series, and that is a Friends with Benefits that has these kind of Sure Shot by Serena
Mhm.
Bowen. It's book 4 in her Brooklyn Bruisers. They're
Mhm.
friends with
Mhm.
benefits.
This Good Boy by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy. It's in their WAG series. It's only 2 books and it's super disappointing because I would love a whole series. It's like a brothers, like a teammate, and they hook up and they keep hooking up, and she's like, "What am I doing?" And he's so like obnoxious.
Lucas by
Um,
Sawyer Bennett and the Cold Fury. That's Friends with
Mhm.
Benefits.
Kelly Jamison has one called Friends with Benefits.
Yeah.
Like the title of the
Mhm.
book is Friends with Benefits.
I kind of canon a little bit. I feel like they
Yeah.
went into it where they were like, okay, we're just gonna like hook up and then, we're gonna tell each other when it's not. Yep.
When it doesn't work anymore. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shameless Puckboy by Eden Finley and Saxon James. It's like more like enemies. Like they hate that they're hooking up, but they're hooking up.
Yep. Leah, do you have another favorite movie?
Let me see. Honestly, like I love Goodfellas, and since I'm in like my dark era of mafia, I was like,
Mhm.
oh, because it's just there's so much chaos in that movie, and it's like if you like a mafia book, like or a mafia movie, you would like a mafia book. And
Mhm.
honestly, like there's so many. Like
Have you
Jill Ramsauer has like really good like mafia, and there's like humor in them as well. And I think that's where like you have that real
so
good
have you ever
connection.
seen the movie with Matthew Perry and Amanda Peake? I think
Mhm.
called The Whole Nine Yards, and then book 2 is
Yes.
The Whole 10 Yards, and
Uh-huh.
Yes.
he's in witness protection, hiding
Mm-hmm.
out because his ex-wife, who's one of uh, the siblings, uh, I can't think of the last name, Arquette siblings, has sold
Mm-hmm.
him out and everything.
And he's a dentist.
And he's a
Yes.
dentist.
Mhm.
And like she's there to kill him. Oh my God. And Bruce Willis is in
That's
that
super
movie.
good.
But
I
it
love
has
that.
like really dark
That's
vibes and you
so
don't expect it
funny.
going in.
You don't. It has really dark vibes, but I love that movie. And so I think that like it fits into my mafia.
It fits in the dark
It
era, like I
does.
said. Like I really just like a good like I like a dark movie like that. Where
Yeah.
it's
I
like
did put 365. I know that there's people take a lot of heat for that. They don't love it. They're not like great, But if you kind of like the mafia vibe, um,
mm-hmm.
Cal O'Reilly, Broken by Sin by BB Hamel,
Yeah.
Well,
Silent
BB Hamel has
Vows.
a bunch that would work
Oh
for
my
that though.
gosh,
I am in my Sadie Kincaid phase right now.
Mhm.
Oh,
I
I just went down the O'Malley's by Katie Robert rabbit hole. Like I just can't
so
stop reading
fun.
them.
I think Sadie Kincaid and BB Hamel right now can do no wrong for me. Like,
Well, and I think they're
I love them.
undervalued dark
Totally.
mafia romance authors. It's kind of that Jill Ramsauer effect too. Like
Yes.
these are authors writing really quality stories. Why aren't we talking about them more?
And BB Hamel like is consistently releasing books.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it's
Well, and
consistent.
for a long time too. Like
Yeah,
I've read her for a long time.
she's so good.
She has a whole like Dark Daddy series, so it was like dark and daddy, and it was
I did read
So
those for our
does Jane
daddy
Henry.
episode.
it was
Yeah.
like we were in the dark and the daddy, and like she
Mhm.
gave me both.
Okay, so next movie, and
Mhm.
this is a fun movie. I don't know that it's a top 5 movie, but it's a fun movie, and it also takes place about around a wedding. Witness a theme here, people. The movie Tag. It's based on the real life of 5
Yes.
friends that play the
Yes.
continuous tag game, and it's in their seasons. And Jeremy Renner is in it,
Mhm.
and
Mm-hmm.
Ham. What's his name?
John Hamm.
John
Yeah.
Hamm is in it, and who
It's
else
a
is?
good movie.
That's such a great movie. But so this is like friend group, wedding, small
Ed
town.
Helms, isn't it?
That That movie, because Amy
It's
Adams, I think, plays the wife, and they never let her play tag.
Oh
And
my
jokes.
gosh, I love
I,
that
It's
movie.
funny. I was talking about this movie at swim practice the one day. Like us, me and the parents were talking about like Tag and like how awesome this movie is.
it's currently on Hulu, you guys. So if you have Hulu, you should absolutely watch it if you've not seen it.
Sure.
It's so fun, but again, it's that small town wedding vibe, friends coming together. Life isn't what you expected it to be. And some people find love because the one guy that's the stoner, he gets his second chance with the girl.
Honestly, Mary B. Moore's like Townsend's, it makes me think of like the Tag and like the shenanigans that they get up to.
Well, Kaylee Ryan has her Riggins brothers family series. It doesn't have the wedding, but it's these brothers that are just constantly in each other's life, doing all these things for each other.
Mhm.
Lots of shenanigans between them, but at the end of the day, they have each other's back. So if you
Yeah.
haven't read that series,
That's a little bit like the Puck Boy series. They are in a queer collective and they're all in the hockey teams all over, but they have like all these meetups and they have these really crazy shenanigans. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
like Penny Reed's like Winston Brothers. Like I kind of get like
Mhm.
that like collective of the brothers, and like Cletus is like, I mean, Cletus would never get tagged. Like
Oh, he'd
he
be
would
the
win it
Jeremy
all.
Renner of
He would
this.
win it all.
Cletus is so great. Oh my God, I love him. And
Could
his
you
name.
imagine like if Penny played tag with the Winstons? Like how
We should
awesome that
tag
would
her
be.
and ask her, like, can we have a novella of the Winstons playing tag? Uh,
Is just outsmart everyone.
right?
It would be
Yeah,
shady. He would figure out some shady way.
He really
that would be
would.
awesome.
Okay, I got
Okay,
one.
give us another movie.
Ocean's 11. So it's like a crime team. I know there isn't a
Hmm.
ton of romance, but let's pretend some of them fall in love. Um, and it's in Vegas. So it really brings me to Jameson Security Force by Sawyer Bennett.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
Um,
yeah.
I love that series. Also, Hades, Anna Hackett, Rebel, the Alpha Mountain Hero series by Vanessa
Yes.
Vale and Renee Rose. So good.
Okay, I
And
see.
Ocean's 11 is good, and all the books I just named are good.
It kind of you think about it though, and they're not doing bad things, but the KGI series. You know what
Yes.
other series though? Menahaven by Brenna Morgan.
Oh yeah,
They
because
kind of
they're like they live in the
they
gray.
live in the
It's like
gray.
Uh-huh.
those, yeah, those ones that live in the gray.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like
I see
they're
that.
like the vigilantes almost. There's
Yeah.
another series that I'm trying to think of the name that like I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but
Okay,
it's
so
like
I'm gonna throw out another movie, and I'm curious
Mhm.
what your book recs for this one are. Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Oh God, that's a good
Over the
movie.
top family chaos. You know,
Anything by Natasha Madison.
well,
yes, I
Catherine
agree.
Bybee actually has a D'Angelo series, but it's an Italian family and like they are big emotions, big feelings,
Aurora Rose
loud.
Reynolds
Her
until
Till series, yeah.
Melissa Foster, the Steels at Silver Island.
Mm-hmm.
Adriana Locke, either her Landry family or her Carmichaels. Kaylee Ryan, and then I thought The Hardigans by
Yes, the
Avery Flynn.
Hardigans. Yes,
The
definitely the
Hardigans are big.
Hardigans.
Carrie and Ryan's crew from Colorado. How
Oh,
the
the
cheese,
The
Montgomerys.
the
Montgomerys.
Montgomerys.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like, oh, like I don't say they're over the top, but they just seem like all up in everyone's
Um,
But
business.
there's a lot of feels that like come out of them.
they are big emotion, but yeah, I love
Mhm.
Big Fat Greek Wedding, and every time I get like a family complicated romance, I think Big Fat Greek Wedding.
I
Like
think
Hmm.
of Windex.
same, same, same.
Well, it's
Um,
like that like family dynamic where like they love big, they get mad big. Like there's just a
Mhm.
lot of like,
and at
but
the
they always
end,
come
you're
back to like that essential like
family.
connection. Yeah.
Okay, next movie. Someone throw out a movie. If not, I got a list.
The Mummy, the
Oh,
original Mummy though, with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz.
Yes, yes.
Yes, like Anna Hackett
I
has a
was gonna
whole
say, doesn't
treasure
she have a
hunter.
treasure
She has a
hunter?
whole treasure hunter series where they're archaeologists and they like and things happen and but they have that same element because there's like that supernatural like element to like the discoveries that they've made. But Katie Robichaud has one. It's called No Trespassing. Um, so they the heroine is the daughter of archaeologists and the hero is an archaeologist, but they don't get
Okay, so this
along.
might be kind of way out from left field. But if you think of the vibes of the Mummy and kind of the underhandedness and the fighting against,
Hmm.
the Cavallari Billionaire Legacy by Zoe Blake has some of those same
I
vibes.
mean, if the mummy had darkness, like if the mummy went dark,
The Mummy does
then
go dark.
yeah.
He's trying to murder everybody.
Um, that's a little darker than the mummy though. But yeah, I can see that.
I'm just saying.
Hmm.
Anyway, if there were guns and murderers.
There isn't guns and murders and everything,
And
just so you
ancient
know.
scarabs.
Right. Okay, so I don't know. There's some new movies that are currently out on Netflix. These aren't top 5 movies for me. I'll go back to top 5 and then we'll go to this other thing. Pride and Prejudice, the Keira Knightley, Matthew
Matthew
McFadden
McFadden,
with the hand
that's the
clench.
best one. Oh my God. Did you know that the hand clench wasn't like
It was impromptu.
it was not planned?
It
It
was
was
not planned.
impromptu. Yes, that's like my favorite part of that whole movie. Like
When
honestly.
they're in that field, no, the other favorite part of that movie is in the rain, where he's like, I can't
Oh
help but
yeah.
love you, and against my
And,
better judgment, I want to
and
be
she
with
gets real
you.
mad at him because he's a
She gets
dick.
really mad at him. But, that's kind of that class difference. That's that opposites attract. It's that family obligation.
Well, it's like
It's
that
kind of the
almost like
billionaire
Hollywood
romance.
norm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because like,
Fake by Kylie Scott would fall into that one.
but it's one of those things. It's like he's like Mr. Darcy, like you know his name, and then she's just this like pansy Elizabeth Bennet.
Take the Lead by Alexis Daria, I think would fit into that. Um, okay, back to that King family series that I was telling you
Mhm.
about. The
Mhm.
Tycoon book 2 is called The Bodyguard. She's a huge reality star that has to come home to her small town, and the local sheriff kind of guards her. So, he was, opposite. He was the poor kid.
Uh-huh.
Um, let's see here. I'm looking.
I have a really good one. It's Friends
Go.
to Lovers. And it has Jason Bateman, which Jason Bateman is on my laminated list.
I love
Love
Jason
him.
Bateman.
He's so dang funny. Oh my
He
gosh.
is.
So it's The Switch, and it's with Jennifer Aniston.
Oh,
And she
yeah.
decides on her own that she's gonna have a baby, and he like
Yes.
accidentally like switches the sperm. So she ends up pregnant with his baby, and then like down the road she shows back up with this baby, and they're like, this is your kid. And he was like, oh shit. So it's like, and then it turns into like Friends to Lovers. So like Friends to Lovers, I have Kane by
Hmm.
Sawyer Bennett, the Him and Us series
So,
by
book
Sawyer
1
Bennett.
in Carrie Elk's Salinger Brothers series, she is 38 and has decided that she's going to artificially inseminate because she wants to have a baby and she's getting older and it's not happening. He's a billionaire from New York that has bought her publishing house that she works for in Charleston, West Virginia, and he's there to fix the offices there. And when he finds out that she's looking at sperm donors, he volunteers to do it, but he'll only do it if they can do it.
Hmm.
And
Oh,
then,
Jacinda Weiler has one too. What is it? Oh gosh, that series where she like interviews and he's like, well,
oh, the
we have to
baby
do,
one, the
yes.
babies
The
ones.
the billionaire ones, the
Yeah,
baby Braun.
Hmm?
Lizzie goes brains over brawn.
Ron. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, that's a
yep,
good one. That
totally
is,
good.
I like that one too. But I do, and I know that I've read more books like that where
I
you
know.
want to have a
Yeah.
baby, but I'll be your sperm donor, but we have to do it to be your sperm.
The old-fashioned way, and then like,
Yeah,
oh shoot, we got to keep practicing.
of course.
Why didn't I keep better notes? Um,
Because past us were
we
dummies.
were.
The other Jason Bateman movie that I absolutely adore is The Change Up. It's where he is married. Jason Bateman is married and he's some lawyer, and he ends up switching places with his best friend who's like a pothead and whatever. And oh my gosh, what is his Jason Bateman's wife in there? It has like the best
Isn't
scenes
he also in
ever.
Couples Retreat?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That
Yeah,
movie. is a train wreck of hilariousness.
Oh,
So
that's
if
so
you like
funny.
vacation flings, and that's currently I
Yes.
think on Amazon Prime right now, like if you like vacation fling romances, that is a movie to watch. Okay, I have to
Yeah.
talk about, so are we at 5 movies yet that we've each shared?
I don't
Oh,
even
I don't even
know.
know.
It's
So
just chaos
one
to
of my
me.
all-time favorite movies is Return to Me with
With
M-
Minnie Driver.
Minnie Driver and David Duchovny.
So good.
This book, he at the beginning of the movie, or this movie, at the beginning of the movie, he loses his wife in a car accident, and Minnie Driver plays a young woman who lives with her grandfather and works in his Italian or his Irish pub that serves Italian food, and she needs a heart transplant. And then a year later, David Duchovny and Minnie Driver meet,
Mm.
and things happen. But then there's other
Mm.
things, and this book,
Lucy Score has one like that.
I think,
It's called Heart.
there's a firefighter one that I read, K Kennedy, or
Jennifer Hartman has one too.
yeah. It just oh, I just read a Maggie Gates. He wasn't the donor, or someone he knew wasn't her donor. But that book that I read by Maggie Gates, you guys, it took me a long time to read Maggie Gates, and I don't know why more people aren't reading her. What Heals Us. It's book 2 in her Fall Creek series. The girl was young and sickly and needed a kidney transplant, and an anonymous donor from their small town donated their kidney. And the story of that book, the feels of that book, like, oh my God. Oh my God. And she got so many things right, as a mom of
Mm.
a transplant person. There's some nuances that sometimes are missed, and there's some things you have to, like, for a movie or a book, you have to kind of break
Give
from
some
reality a
grace.
little bit. But Maggie Gates, she did it. She got it all right.
Max Monroe has a book. It's the Girl in the Painting, I think is the title of it. It's not like one of their rom-coms. It was actually kind of a different direction for them. But the hero of the book I think he has an accident and ends up being blind, or maybe he was born blind or something, but he gets like a cornea transplant from the heroine's, I think, fiance who had passed away. But like once he can see, like he's constantly drawing and painting this person that he's never met. And then he meets her. And like it's really well done. I think it's the girl in the painting.
Um, okay. So do you have a comfort movie? Do you have a movie that you can just put on no matter what, and it gives you the feels, but it's a comfort to watch it? It might not be the
Um,
highest quality movie. Do you have a
yes,
comfort movie?
the original Star Wars trilogy.
That's fair. That's fair. You also read Zoe Draven, so aliens are kind of
Like there's no aliens in Star Wars. I mean, there's no alien matings in Star Wars that we see.
okay.
There's no aliens with people in Star Wars.
Um,
I mean, there
Mm,
probably is, but we don't see that side of it.
Heather, do you have a comfort movie?
I really like Friends with Benefits, but I watch Something Borrowed pretty much at least twice or three times a year. So it's about two best friends. One is getting married and she's a total B. And the other one actually starts sleeping with her fiance, who they met in law school. It is a
Is
book
that the
by
one
Emily
with
Giffin. Hmm.
is that
Yeah.
the one with Kate Hudson and
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a love triangle, which is so funny because I don't even like love triangles, but again, I think what it is a soundtrack is pretty awesome.
it
And
is really good. And
Jim
that
from The
like
Office is in it, and it's so good.
Jim from The Office. So I have my two comfort movies are Christmas movies, but I can watch them any time of year, all the time. And that is The Holiday, which is with Kate Winslet and Jack Black and
Jude Law.
Jude Law
Same.
and Cameron Diaz. And I just love that movie. I love the vibes of that movie and the old guy
Same.
and his cute little walker and stuff. And the fact that Jack Black makes musical soundtracks for movies just really plays into that.
Mhm.
And the other one is The Family Stone, which is Diane Keaton and Sarah Jessica Parker is in it, and
Mm-hmm.
Dylan Mulroney is in that movie. And he and Sarah Jessica Parker are engaged, and he goes home for Christmas with her, and she's very like uptight, um, like New Yorker, and his family is very much like New England, New Hampshire. They all smoke pot. Can't think of the dad's name. He played Coach on TV. Craig
Yes,
Nelson, Craig
yes.
D. Nelson. Um,
Yes.
I love him.
it's such a great movie. The one of the Owen Wilson, not Owen Wilson.
Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson is in that, and he plays the stoner that gets high with his dad on the football stadium. And then he gives pot to his mom because she is sick. Anyway, it's complicated. It's family. It's messy. Also, Me Before You, which is sad. It does not end in an
Oh,
HEA, and I love those JoJo Moyes books. Like I
those are
love
really
them.
good. They
But
were very good.
that movie, I love that movie. I love that movie.
I don't cry at movies a lot.
But you
Like I'll
can't
cry at a
help but cry at
book,
that movie.
but I couldn't make it through that one.
I
I
cried
was a
that whole
mess.
stupid movie, and I was obsessed with the tights.
I think part of it was like I'd read the book
I'd read the book too.
and they did a good job with the movie.
They did.
It did a really good job. And so like you were just a blubbery mess because you knew what was coming.
You so knew.
And so like you preemptively cried.
Home Again is also very good. So it is with Reese Witherspoon, and she is a divorced mom, and she moves back to LA, and she moves into her dad's. Like her dad was some famous producer,
Mm-hmm.
and she like literally finds these three guys out when she's celebrating her birthday and brings them home and moves them in, and she kind of starts a fling. It's like a, I don't want to say there's an age gap, but she's older. It's very
Why
good.
choose? A little why choose-ish.
Nope, she only has a relationship with one, but the other two guys, like they kind of have this great friendship and
Fun. I also like Saving Silverman.
Oh, that's a really funny one.
And it has
That's a
the
good
Neil
one.
Diamond soundtrack because they're all obsessed with Neil Diamond, and I'm there for it. Okay. So, what movie have you watched more than any other movie?
I don't
Fools,
know.
Fools Rush In.
Fools Rush In. Oh, that's a
Oh, that's a
great
good one.
movie.
I have a whole bunch of, yeah, it's so good.
Give us book
Vegas
recs.
Wedding, Accidental Pregnancy, The Dreammaker, Stacey Lynn, The Ozone, Kelly Jameson, One Moment Please, by Amy Daz, A Lie for a Lie, Tangled, Harlow James, Play to Win, Kelly Jameson.
I think
Okay.
The Princess Bride, I mean, not counting Star Wars, because I've seen that like a bajillion times, but I think The Princess Bride is like the movie that I
If
have
you
seen
like
a
a
lot.
pining hero,
We were made of moments, or were made of moments.
we're made of moments like Princess Bride, pining hero vibes. Like any
He
book,
pines like a tree.
he pines like it's his job. So I would say for me, the movie I've watched over and over again, and it's probably because I had children, but also I love this movie and I recently just did a rewatch on it. It is Shrek. That movie holds up for me. I love
It's
Shrek.
a really good movie.
And it's a great soundtrack. I love Shrek karaoke at the end. And it also inspired me to read Orc from The Office. And I went down this whole orc rabbit hole, and the orc rom-coms, I love them. I love them. And we all know how I feel about like, you know, the different shifters that I've read and the Easter bunny romances and stuff. So I think it all
And I love
fits.
a good shifter. We all know that.
Yeah, Shrek is like probably
I actually just saw a comedian talking about Shrek today, and I was like, I definitely need to go back and watch that. It's such a good movie.
It's I made the kids watch it not too long ago. It was really good.
So while I was working for this working through this episode, and I was trying to watch some different movies to kind of see what's out there like right now, and you know, we don't have cable, we just have 5,000 streaming services. And I came across some movies. Netflix has recently put a lot of books to movie Netflix exclusive movies up. So the first one they did was Can You Keep a Secret? It's based on the book by Sophie Kinsel. Sophie wrote the what is it? I just forgot. Sophie Kinsel, the nanny, they're nanny ones, right?
She's got a whole bunch.
She did.
I
And
used to read her all the time.
I love Sophie Kinsella, Shopaholic, the Shopaholic
Yes.
series.
Yes.
So in this one, Can You Keep a Secret? It's a meet cute boss employee, opposites attract. They meet on an airplane during when there's turbulence, and she gets super drunk and spills all of her dark secrets to this random dude. Come to find out, he's the owner of the company she works for. So it kind of had, if you like The Stopover by T.L. Swan, it had those kind of vibes to it. It was so funny. So funny.
Netflix is doing a lot more, like Purple Hearts is really good. So if you like romantic, kind of like military romantic kind of stuff, that's a good one to watch.
The Lost Husband, I think this is based on a book. I can't remember whose book it's based on. They have a ton of Nicholas Sparks ones, but we're not going to talk about those. The Lost Husband, I'm not sure what book that's by. Is it Nicholas Sparks?
I think so.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it is. Let me look.
Okay, I have to look this up now because I watched it, but Josh Duhamel is
Catherine Center's 2013 novel of the same name.
Okay, thank you God. I didn't think I had.
You would have been so pissed.
Seriously, you guys, if you liked the book In a Jam by Kate Canterbury, watch The Lost Husband.
Yes.
It's Leslie Bibb. I like Leslie Bibb.
Small town. She lost her husband in a car accident, and in the midst of her grief, she lost her home and her finances are ruined. She moves in with her mother, who is trash, and she ends up, her mom arranges for her to go and stay with her mom's sister, her aunt, and her aunt owns a farm that makes homemade goat cheese, and the heroine has to learn farm management, and Josh Duhamel plays the farm manager. And, it's love after grief, and it's really great, and the kids are cute.
And there's some mean girls, and Josh Duhamel like puts them in her place, and it's super cute. It's really good.
The other one that I read was, watched was Always Be My Maybe.
Oh.
So it's shoot, now I have to look it up, you guys, because I forget who's in it. It's on Netflix. It is the comedian is Ali Wong and Randall Park. They're childhood sweethearts who have fallen out and don't speak for 15 years, only reconnecting as adults when Sasha runs into Marcus in San Francisco. And he just always thought they'd end up together. And then they hadn't. And when she comes back to town, she's actually engaged. And he's like
makes me think
working for his dad's moving company.
It makes me think of Give Love a Try a little bit. Like,
yeah, it's just really good. I really, really enjoyed it. And then I watched Forever My Girl. It's based on a Kristen Hanna book. And it's a small town rock star. He returns home. He leaves his bride. He's a runaway groom, jilted bride, and comes home 7 years later because a high school friend has passed away. Returns to his small town. His ex is still there. She's thriving in the town. She has a 7-year-old child. So secret baby.
Weird. The timing.
That's your catnip right there.
It was really, really good. I really, really enjoyed that. Begin Again. It's Mark Garofalo, right? Ruffalo.
That's a really good one. I like that one a lot.
He's a rock star. It's an age gap. She's a new artist, and he decides to mold her, help her find her music career. So if you liked that movie, it's on Netflix. Riff by Julie Chris has all those same kind of vibes.
Keira Knightley.
Is she in that movie?
Yeah, she's the musician.
Anyway, I liked that book.
Yeah, that was a really good
movie. I keep saying book, and they were not books.
Well, because
it's different. This is different.
It is different.
Any movies you guys have watched recently that more people should be watching?
Apparently I need to be watching more movies because I don't do a lot of that.
I
did some rewatches. Like I didn't watch new stuff because I will say I don't like a lot of new stuff because in my older age, I don't like new stuff anymore.
Well, like I
I've
watched
become my
Something to Talk
mother, like
About, which is
honestly.
Mhm.
Julia Roberts. Like
Hmm.
that was a great movie. It's older, it still
Mhm.
stood up. Never Been Kissed with Drew Barrymore.
Oh, I love that movie.
13 going on 30. Love that.
Oh, love that. Um,
27 Dresses with Katherine Heigl. So she's like the bridesmaid, never the bride.
did you watch Date Night with Steve Carell and
Yes.
Tina
And Tina
Fey?
Fey, and they
Gosh.
don't they witness like a murder or something or
Well,
like a
Mhm.
robbery, and then they're like running for their lives.
no,
It's such a
they
funny
Yeah.
movie.
mistake them for
Yes. Oh yeah,
like
that's
drug
right.
dealers or something, and they're
I
like
couldn't
Game
remember
night.
like the
not
premise.
on game
Game
night,
night is
date
the
night.
same. Game night, though, is the same. So Jason Bateman
Yes.
sets up this like epic
Yes.
game night and they end up like on this. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Have you ever seen the movie Crazy Stupid Love? Ryan
With
Gosling
Ryan
is
Gosling.
Mhm.
yes,
Hmm.
and Emma Stone, right? Emma Stone.
Yeah. Yeah, because they did two like back to back.
So that because yeah, they did
La La
La La
Land.
Land. I really liked that movie, and I know that technically, basically, Steve Carell is cheating on his wife because they're not really officially divorced yet, but they're separated. I just really liked that movie. Like, because you get that reformed playboy,
Hmm.
you get that marriage in crisis, um, and there's just some complexity. And then the babysitter and her like naked pictures.
So, and then I rewatched The Proposal the other day with Sandra Bullock and Ryan
And Reynolds.
Reynolds. And like it's so funny. I laughed so hard. And like Betty White like is dancing around in the woods and she's this song she's singing.
If you okay, if have you guys seen Enchanted, which is a Disney movie that's
Hmm.
Mhm.
so that movie, every time I watch it, I get the Nanny Matchmaker vibes by Krista Sandor.
Yeah. They
Because
have that like magical
that
element to
whimsy.
them.
Yeah. And I
Hmm.
love that. Talk about a soundtrack. How
Yeah.
will
Yes.
how will he know or how will I know that song? Like I sing that to my children and they get so annoyed with me. Anyway, which book do you wish would become a movie or TV series?
Um, that's a really tough question because there's so many. Like
Yes.
I just would really any of my suspense series that I've read and binged multiple times, like I would love to see them like in real life.
I'm going with the Arizona Vengeance by
Oh,
Sarah
that would be a
Jones.
good one.
That'd be a great one. Wild
I
would
know.
totally rule that show. Like he'd be number one.
No. Have you ever met Dax? I'm so sorry. Or Riggs? Hello.
I would love Hearts and Creek by Carrie Elks to
Mm.
become because it's that heartland of America, small town
Well, I know
complexity.
Aurora's Underground Kings.
That would be good. That
Like,
would be
could
good.
you like the mattress scene in real time?
The other one I think, and we don't know what the rest of the series is going to look like, but that Love Me Today by A.L. Jackson,
Hmm.
that would be a
Actually,
phenomenal
her
movie.
Redemption Hills series would be really good.
It really would.
I really would love to see a great mafia, like a modern mafia book,
Hmm.
like movie.
Yeah.
Kind of like more dark, but
Well, kind of like the internet crimes, the gambling, not
Hmm.
just the like casino Vegas gambling, but the,
Mhm.
in the city, the underground kind
Hmm.
of feel to it.
Like an arranged marriage. That's totally my
Yeah.
just
That's your
my
jam.
jam.
Um, okay, so we have provided you with a very chaotic list of movies and maybe some books that can go with them. If you would like to know what we're watching, feel free to ask us. And in our latest edition of Pour Over newsletter at bookcaseandcoffee.com, you will find a whole summer watch list over there that I am putting together all the movies I think you should be checking out and watching this summer. Okay. It is now time, guys.
It's that time for book
Book
of
of
the
the
week.
week. Everybody did jazz hands.
Wow.
Leah, I'm going to ask you what your book of the week is because Heather
Okay.
forgot to get hers ready.
Okay, my book of the week is a series. So I went down the O'Malley rabbit hole by Katie Robert, like on a whim. I was
I
like, I
can't
haven't,
believe you are just now
I have,
reading this
it is one of
series.
those series, like I knew like once I started, I couldn't stop and I needed to have like the time to read them all. And so I went down the rabbit hole and I cannot stop. I am on the final book, like as we're recording this, and I was crying because it's emotional and like Kira is like a hot mess of chaos, and Dimitri is this guy that you want to hate so much, but like the way he is with her, like
He is the
I'm a
first
mess.
anti-hero. So I read those as they were coming out. And that
Mm-hmm.
was the first time an author had made me fall in love with a bad
With the bad
guy
guy.
and an anti-hero. Like that was the first. And
I mean, I love an anti-hero. And if you can make me love a character that you like despise the whole series, like I'm all for
yeah.
that. But it's so good. Like just the hair, like they're strong heroines, like they make mistakes, like there's realistic scenarios in this like chaotic world.
Yeah. It's really good. I do love that series. Heather, what's your book of the week?
Um, I'm in the middle of, it's called Tink. It is by Emmy Sanders. It comes out later this week. It is in the Elite Eight Studios series. It is a male book,
Ooh.
and he is a porn with a P star, and he ends up with these two guys, and it is not. I feel like sometimes when you get like a throuple, it can get real like it's only about sex. And it is so not. These three guys are Finn, Rowan, and Alex are so sweet and they are so good for each other. And it is such a great book. I am so and so I just love it. I love the three characters and they are so great together.
Okay.
What's your book of the week, Beck?
Um, well, I said earlier I've been going down the Sadie Kincaid rabbit hole, and I
Mm-hmm.
recently just finished Dante, which is book one in her Chicago series. And okay, so I recommended this book at book club that I thought it was Mafia Light, but then at
It's
about
not Mafia Light.
55%, it takes a dark, dark
Delightful.
turn.
Um,
Um, yeah, lots of violence. More violence than I thought there was going to be. Like the first half of the book was not overly violent, but then the second half of the
They
book,
make up for it at the end.
I'm like, WTF, WTF. Um, but he ends up becoming a super swoony hero, and he does redeem himself, I think.
her I'm reading Shattered Control is now up next for me. It's in that some Lace series, BB Hamel. Oh my God, so good.
I'm
It's in
just,
Arizona. Like, who thinks to have mafia in Arizona? It's so great. Love
I
it.
love that. I love that. Okay, so Patreon update. Um, swag packs are out now, and we were so lucky that our sponsoring authors for July were our authors Susan Stoker and Kaylee Ryan. Um, both have books that are coming out this summer that we think you should be checking out. For Susan Stoker, Finding Jodelle. It comes out July 11th. This is a much anticipated title for her.
God damn it is.
What
Baker
Mm-hmm.
Rollins, people.
what number is this the book in the series?
It's the final book. It's book 7, but we met Baker in book 1. So we have waited for like a year.
Okay. And then Kaylee Ryan has Kissing the Rival. It's out June 15th. And this is
July
part
5th.
July
Is it
15th.
June?
I
No,
thought
it's
you
June
said
15th.
June
You're right.
15th.
Yeah.
And it is part of a multi author wedding series that all takes place around the same wedding. Molly McLean wrote in this, and
Mm.
um, Kaylee Ryan, Lacey Black. There's two
Evan
other
Grace
Evan Grace,
and let me look it up.
A.M. Hargrove, maybe.
No, Annie's not in this one.
Anyway, it all takes place centers around one wedding, and they're authors that I love. They've all written in that. Is it C.A. Harm, maybe?
Hold on, I gotcha.
Okay. Um, They all
Molly
the
McLean, Kaylee Ryan, C.A. Harms, Lacey Black, and Evan Grace.
Yeah. So I love A Wedding Romance, so I will be checking these out. And I love Kaylee Ryan, so everybody should be checking that out.
Can I also tell you, if you want, you should just check out Finding Jodelle, the cover.
Oh, yeah.
Spicy.
It's delightful.
Silver Fox.
So Susan and Kaylee provided amazing swag for us. We could not be more grateful to them to support our community. But in the swag packs, they go out to fancy drinks, cold brew, queen bee tier, and we still have fun buzzing about romance exclusive items in our swag packs, like stickers, mood reading cards, pocket TBRs. These are mailed monthly on the 5th of the month. We do ship these internationally, and there is no wait time on this perk. As soon as you join one of those tiers, this perk kicks in. So even if you on June or July 28th of this month, you sign up, you will get July swag pack. And then on the 5th, you'll get August's swag pack. So lots of fun things happening there. Because of our amazing Patreons, we are able to bring you 3 episodes a week. We are still working on our goal of 75 members so we can have our first ever book retreat event. All members of the Patreon get exclusive episodes along with perks like Buzzing Book Club. Part of our Backed by Popular Demand is Summer Reading Challenge. This reading challenge is happening right now. It runs through July 31st. You can check out details on our website at bookcaseandcoffee.com. And we will link it in our On the Shelf show notes. You can find a list of all of our events at bookcaseandcoffee.com, including happy hours, IG Live, book club, Discord discussions, and what other chaos we have going on. Also,
all the chaos.
If you have not gotten your ticket yet for the Indiana signing in Indianapolis, November 3rd through the 5th, that will be the first ever Buzzing About Romance meetup. Both Leah and I will be there. I know that Jenny is coming. I think Heather's slated to be there. We expect to see Carolina also there. So if you have been dying to hang out and meet some of us from Buzzing About Romance, we will be in Indianapolis for the HEA Readers event, and we would love to see you. We will have some exclusive Buzzing community meetup events throughout the weekend, so you will not want to miss out. I'm going to bring my the romance card game from Dangerous Press. I think we're going to play that, and who knows? I'm sure it will be wild. I'm sure there will be cocktails, and I'm sure there'll be laughter.
Oh, that's a guarantee.
So we hope to see you at that. You can find a link to get your ticket on our website at bookcaseandcoffee.com. Heather and Leah, thank you so much for talking movies with me and books a little bit, but thanks for talking movies.
It was a fun, like,
just something a little different, right?
A little different.
Yeah. Anyway, until next time, everyone.
Happy reading, everybody.
Find us on Instagram at Buzzing About Romance or on Twitter at Buzzing Romance. If you like the podcast, please leave a review. If you'd like to support us directly, join the Bookcase and Coffee Patreon and receive exclusive content only available to Patreon members. Check out bookcaseandcoffee.com for our on-the-shelf show notes.